We are gathered here today in loving memory of our fallen brother, Brick with Ear. Brick was more than just a role model, an icon, a father, public servant, or an exotic dancer. He was my closest friend, nay, my only friend. If you can hear me out there in the great beyond, I want you to know I never gave up at my dream of being the first Siamese twin octopus with an undead twin head that communicates telepathically to make it to the major leagues. I'll keep fighting. For you. For us. Rest in paradise.
It is with a heavy heart today that I have come to speak about my dear friend, Brick with Ear. As you all know, my name is...
Alright, move aside. We all lost someone today. Yeesh. When I heard that Brick passed away, I cried a single white tear out of my one-eyed weasel. I'm sorry, I can't do this.
We all know Brick with Ear. I perhaps, more than anybody. I'm sure we could all recount the seemingly endless adventures and exploits from our time with Brick, many of which being the only moments we ever felt truly alive. Brick had an infamous charm to him that could allure the most standoffish minds and tame even the most hardened of hearts. When he was carried into a room, his presence sliced through the fabric like a white-hot blade through a stick of butter, melting egos and dissolving pretense. But even his closest companions would be remiss not to acknowledge that he has always been somewhat of an enigma. Who was the man behind the brick, the thought behind the ear? Who was Brick with Ear? Well, at the very least, he was a brick. Of this I'm sure. But what is a brick, if not a component of a greater principle? A principle we collectively refer to as wall. When some people look at a wall, they see a symbol of separation, a physical obstacle between people, an emotional barrier betwixt souls. Not I. I see connection. Brick by brick, by brick, by brick, by brick. By brick, by brick. Each one painstakingly sculpted into precise dimensions, placed with care by the hands of an artisan. Pressed ever so gently, ever so lovingly into the structure. Not unlike the primordial clay, from whence the soil of Mother Gaia burst forth, like a spring of ordered matter, subatomic particles filling the void of chaos, with substance giving way to form. Not unlike the clay of the first man, molded into a mirror reflection of the universal body, animated with the breath of life, yet cursed with the burden of abstract thought. Each brick, a monad, in a growing mosaic of disparate parts, united by a circulatory system of mortar, the bricklayer, the cosmic heartbeat of an ever-growing system, building upwards and outwards, only to crumble and decay with the sands of time. If you trace your finger along the veins of concrete, you can follow it from one brick to any other brick in the wall, and yet the wall remains stationary. Looking at it from this perspective, we can properly contextualize Brick with Ear. He was a true confidant. If I ever needed an ear to listen, he was there for me. Many of my deepest secrets and most vulnerable moments were absorbed and preserved into the confines of his canal. He was solid. He was more than my rock. He was my Brick. Sturdy in his own right, yet part of something greater than himself. This was always apparent, even though he never had to say it. Actions speak louder than words after all, and Brick was absent of both. We could all learn a thing or two from Brick. God gave us 2 eyes to see, 2 ears to hear, and only 1 mouth to speak. Brick had but a single ear. If he was here today to hear this, he would probably say,
I can't take it anymore. I have to see him again. Huh? Where'd he go?